What do you do with short stem flowers when a vase doesn't quite work? Well, I've come across a centuries-old pottery fix. I'm making a flower brick. I'm using a little more than 1 kilo of clay. You can easily vary the amount of clay you use depending on the size of brick you want. But today I'm making a small flower brick. I'm using the term flower brick quite loosely here, so my brick is round. Once I've centered the clay, I flatten. I push down into the clay and open up. I leave about 1 centimetre in the base. I open up quite flat across the base and I'm going to make a pretty basic cylinder. I bring up the walls. Now I need to keep in mind the amount of clay I need to close the form. I start to close the form by collaring in. I'm just squeezing the clay gently inwards. As I collar, the fingers from my hands form a triangle, and now I'm really judging where I want to squeeze the clay together to close the form. The volume of air trapped in the pot remains static from now on. Okay, so I've got this extra clay at the top and I just can't resist. I'm going to make a little mini bowl. Okay, that was really incidental. Once I've removed the excess clay, I compress the join. And I'm going to flatten the sides and the top with a rib. Working with closed forms is really satisfying. The air inside the form is supporting the shape. And now I shape some more by trimming some clay from the base. I'll always remember my pottery teacher telling me that this lifts the pot. And that's it. I wire through and set aside to dry to leather hard. And I remember to put a pinhole to release air as my pot dries and shrinks. My flower brick is leather hard and I'm ready to trim. I'm using my Giffen grip because the top is slightly domed. If I didn't have my Giffen grip to hand, I'd make a little chuck for my flower brick to fit. And now I trim around the base. I kind of wish I had made a chuck because this is not the most stable of trimming positions. Luckily, there's not a lot of trimming involved. I trim a little across the base. And then I smooth and finish the surfaces. As always, I prefer to finish my work at this stage rather than having to sand or grind at a later stage. It's efficient and avoids dust. So once I'm happy with the finish, I flip my flower brick and now I'm going to mark out the holes. I'm using my circle guide for this. If you'd like your own circle guide as a PDF, you can print out, follow the link below, enter your email address, and we'll send you one. So the circle guide just allows me to make the holes evenly. Now I'm ready to make the holes. So I'm using a hole cutter. Keep in mind, your pot's going to shrink and the holes will too. So you want those holes to be ample to fit all kinds of flower stems. Now, after I finished this, I actually decided to make one larger hole. That was really smart. It allows me to easily empty water from the flower brick and also fill the flower brick while it has flowers in it. I should have been a little careful that the clay from the cutouts didn't fall down into the flower brick. Now, they kind of ended up being glazed in place, but I probably would have preferred to have a smooth interior, and that would make cleaning a little easier. Now, I spent some time cleaning up those holes. I definitely don't want any debris to block the holes. So once those holes are tidy, I set aside to fully dry, and then I bisque fire. And then I glaze. I use a slip trailer to glaze the inside. I just squirt the glaze into the holes, swirl it round really well, and then empty out. I clean up the top, and then I dip the outside. Now, it's pretty important to clean the glaze from those holes. And now I glaze fire. So I glazed in some green colours. This one's my copper green, and I also used a soft eucalyptus glaze. You can just drop your brick into a bucket of water and watch it fill. And I can keep this one topped up because I did make that slightly larger hole. It's a great way to arrange flowers that don't have a particularly long stem. And it doesn't take much to make a simple flower arrangement. Here's 2 pointers I'll make sure I remember next time I make these. Make one hole that's big enough for filling and emptying. And clean up those holes really well, both of debris and glaze. Once these practicalities are taken care of, there's so much creative potential in this project. If you haven't already done so, hit the subscribe button so you stay up to date with our latest projects. As always, we love likes and comments. And we also always love to see what people do with our projects. For more greenery in your projects, why not try our self-watering planters video? It's great for forgetful gardeners like me. And as always, happy potting.